ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we have two new projects getting a green light from franchises we are one we already love, one we are beginning to love again, as we'll get to the one we're watching. No trailer talk this week. The new streaming list is very light. I reversed the order on that one. Man, you hate to see it. It's so easy. The list is right in front of me. You'd think it'd be easy to just read down the list, but nonetheless, I think that's probably like the first time that's happened. I usually don't mess up the intro that bad. Anyway, and then our main review for the episode, Training Day. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today, of course, and as usual, with Narcotics Nathaniel Gingrich.
What up, folks? I'm Narcotics Nathaniel.
You little narc.
I knew that one was coming. I thought it was gonna be Nathaniel.
Narco.
It was one of the two. It was one of the two.
Or as they call them in The Wire, Narcos.
Nachos?
Yeah, they call them Narcos.
My political science professor made The Wire reference today.
Telling you.
Oh, really?
That's he looked around the room. He goes, "Yeah, you guys know the show The Wire?" And about in a 100-person lecture, about 8 people raised their hands.
Oh no!
Wow. Yeah,
he was looking around. He was so disappointed.
That's
he goes,
criminal.
"That is the best show ever made." But anyway, they talk about how it was something about how in the 4th season, some mayor snubs the numbers on the crime rating in his town so he can run for governor or something like that.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the 4th season of The Wire, I guess. Which
That's funny though that you brought that up. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
All-time classic, man.
I know. I thought instantly of Blake and Nathaniel. I was like, damn, I should have got on The Wire sooner. I could have raised my hand, got some extra credit points or something. Anyway, I'm also joined today by first day Tyler Vidalis.
Yo, it's my first day.
Yeah, rookie.
Sure.
Newbie.
I mean, I guess. Fuck it.
Yeah. How you doing, Ty?
I'm good, man. How are you?
New camera angle. I'm doing all right.
Yes, sir.
Stream's been looking good.
Thanks, man.
In every once in a while when I can.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. You've been pretty consistent now for what, like 2 months? 2-3 months?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it was probably like 4. It was probably about a month or so before I actually got affiliated, and then I just woke up and I was like, "There's no point in me like playing video games and not turning on my stream.
Right.
Like it's just fucking stupid." So
Yeah.
just started booting everything back up again, and I did notice my computer feels like it's slowing a little bit, so I think I'm just gonna invest in some.
Yeah.
I'm gonna invest in some RAM here because I think that's probably the only issue because I don't.
What you rocking with?
I think it's just 8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna pop this old one out and then probably do 16 or just fuck it and just go to 32.
32. I have 32 right now. I've been debating adding 32 more to get to 64, but I don't know how much that will actually do for me.
Yeah,
my PC has other issues.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really use anything else. I use the processor and the RAM. I don't use the graphics card. It's just there for help, and so the power unit's fine. So I don't really do anything else. Might do some more cooling just to make it look a little bit more fun. But as far as right now goes, immediately, I think I need some new RAM.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
And rounding out the squadron, of course, is big rookie BlakeHolder.
What up?
We timed it just when he took a drink, folks. That's how we do here on Back Row Banter.
That's my bad. I was watching the diner scene in Training Day.
It's
on the background.
I got it on the background.
Scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How was your week, bro?
Busy. I was. We had it's weird. Snow days. COVID ruined yet another thing. Snow day is no longer a thing, apparently.
For sure. That's out the
classes. Classes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were all online. Most of my professors were like, "All right, I'll post a lecture, or we'll meet on Zoom for like 10 minutes," and that's what ended up happening all 3 days. But I was basically just locked in my room doing homework for 3 straight days. Actually, make it like 5 because then Saturday, Sunday, I was also just doing homework all day essentially. And I'll be doing homework and other work basically the rest of this week. It does not seem to be stopping anytime soon.
Junior year is always the hardest, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's honestly mainly the internships that I'm applying to for this summer. That's the biggest thing that's got me tripped up. And then I have to do that. I have to apply to like 20 by Friday. And I also have to keep up with all my other schoolwork. So I've just been trying to get as much done as soon as, like, as quickly as possible, get all this stuff out of the way.
For sure.
But it's a bit of a grind. Yeah. How about you, man? How was your week?
Pretty good, man. Long. Been trying to piece together some furniture shopping, but like that's fucking hell, dude. That's like one time I wish I had like a partner or a spouse or anything.
Yeah.
But, like doing that as a single male is a fucking nightmare, dude. I was like,
Yeah,
dude, fuck this.
and always just having a second opinion, regardless of who's with you, is
well, for sure. Yeah. So one of the days I ended up having one of my close friends of mine. She came and helped. So she's cool to get a second opinion and to get a woman's opinion as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see. A lot of that stuff is like crazy delivery dates, dude. I was looking at getting a bedroom set and they were like, yeah, we can have it delivered like April. And I'm like, all right, well, like that's probably not gonna work. But even that, there was nothing like, yeah, we can deliver it like next week. Like that wasn't even an option, you know what I mean? So I think I'll end up getting a mattress soon and I'll probably just have to put the mattress on the ground till I get some furniture in April or May, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's
when
tough.
you moving in?
I wanted to do it rather soon, but I got to get a mattress first, which I plan on getting all new bedding. So once I get a mattress delivered, I think I'll be fine because I have a dining room set and all that type of stuff from the last place I had.
Yeah.
So
when does the green paint get in?
Never.
Never,
man. Never.
Yeah.
No.
That was gonna stay stuck in China.
Yeah, that's funny.
I had a friend in college that built all of their furniture out of cardboard.
Really?
Yeah, you know, like the packing cardboard that they use for like around fridges and stuff like that. That's like really thick.
Okay.
Yeah, they just cut those into strips and then they like made tables out of it and then they made a couch and a bed too.
Really?
How
That's
long
actually
did
really
that
cool.
last?
Yeah.
Like a year or two. I mean, it was college, so it didn't really matter all that much.
Yeah, of course.
And she was like,
but it works, saves money too.
Yeah, she was like one of the like prop builders and like was an art major for college. So yeah, she knocked it up in like 2 or 3 weeks basically as like a summer project.
Really cool, actually.
Yeah,
pallets.
That's definitely something you got to be very artistic for.
Yeah.
I think next time though you go furniture shopping, you know, just start the Discord up, get the squadron in, and you know we'll get some opinions for you. You know.
Yeah, we could have. You should let us know.
Walk the store with the fucking MacBook. We're looking at this right here.
I was gonna say we all got iPhones, but then Tyler's over there with his stupid S20.
You're anti-Apple.
How are those green texts working out for you, Ty?
I mean, they're all the same color. I can actually choose what color I want people's bubbles to be on my phone.
That's lame. Who needs?
That's actually so cool, though. Like in the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? But
yeah, like
I don't know. I'm an Apple sheep, dude.
This is just a thread, and you can see Rebirth Island in the back, and you can see I can make different bubbles, different colors. So I can pretty much do whatever the fuck I want on my phone because it's not an Apple phone.
Yeah.
I'll stick with my Apple phone. I don't need Rebirth Island in the back of any of my text messages. Fuck that.
Have fun, bro. My grandma's got the same phone.
She's got the 13 Pro Max?
Yep.
What color she get?
I think it's the blue.
Oh, the same. Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
What up, Gma Vidalis?
Anyway, let's get on into the news here, guys. 2 news stories on the docket. Both are... One's a sequel. One's a renewal of season 3. Which one do you guys want first?
Renewal.
Well,
yeah, why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, Euphoria has been greenlit for season 3 at HBO, following increased viewership on season 2 compared to season 1, and pretty high praise so far on season 2. I'll get to that a little bit in the what we're watching segment here, a bit of sizzle, but yeah, everyone's coming back, same showrunners and everything. Season 3.
For sure. That's all I see all on my Instagram, dude, is Euphoria stuff.
Yeah, right.
So I could have told you they're going to renew it for season 3. That thing's probably doing crazy numbers right now.
Oh, I guarantee you that's probably the best thing out that HBO has right now. I bet you it's beating like Peacemaker or anything else.
For sure.
That's probably their number 1 show right now. Honestly, since Game of Thrones, maybe Succession.
I'd agree.
Yeah, but like since Game of Thrones ended, Westworld probably isn't doing the numbers it did for its first season. Succession is gonna be close. Maybe Mayor of Easttown. Yeah. Righteous Gemstones, I doubt is even coming close to Euphoria numbers. So it's kind of a no-brainer for them to do a season 3. And with how the second season goes, again, I'll get to that in what we're watching. I'm all on board for it. Seems like they got some things cooking, some ideas, of course.
How old do you think the writer's room is in Euphoria?
What'd you say?
How old do you think the writer's room is?
They've got to have some, Gen Z consultants, that's for sure. I can see who the writers are on Euphoria.
I'm just guessing.
I mean, the creator what's his name? Sam Levinson, I think.
Okay.
I think this is him. He is 37.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know if you necessarily have to have, Gen Zers in there. I'm 31, and obviously because of my job, I, assimilate with a lot of 20-year-olds.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I mean, they have done a good job of kind of adjusting this kind of Degrassi style to the modern generation. I think I've said on the podcast before when I've talked about Euphoria, but it does the best job I've seen yet of kind of encapsulating and I'm talking more about, when I say this, I'm going to talk about more the first season and the second season, but what high school was like for me, as far as, social media, kids just blowing fat clouds, stuff like that. Right. People sending nudes, that shit being a thing, sure. All of that stuff. This is by far the closest that anyone else has gotten. So they have to have. If Sam Levinson doesn't have some kind of consultant, then he's definitely undercover at some high school or something, and we should look into that. But yeah, season 3 is a go. There's really no word on when that is going to be planning. When's that gonna start production, everything like that. The second season hasn't even finished airing. I think they have 3 or 4 more episodes to go. So it might be a bit. It was about 2.5 years in between the first and second season, but that was
really, was that long?
Yeah.
It's COVID though.
COVID shut down. They started filming for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, and they started filming, and then it shut it down. And then they had those 2 special episodes that came out December and January of last year. Well, so December 2020, January 2021. So they had those 2 episodes to kind of bridge the gap a little bit. And then it was basically a full year between those episodes and the second season coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, if I had to guess, barring another pandemic.
Maybe end of the year.
Fingers, knock on
wood.
Early
2023, maybe?
Yeah, maybe early 2024. Maybe they stick to this winter release where they do January or February, because it seems like it's a good spot where not a ton's coming out right now. All the big pushes at the end of the year for movies just finished up, and it kind of leaves a nice little gap here. I know for a long time in gaming, this was such a underutilized window for releasing a game, because everyone released their games in the holidays, and then from January to March was nothing. And so you'd see a AAA game or a first party game sneak in there in those 3 months just to kind of give people something to do in those gap when nothing's coming out. But then you'd also see a little bit of a sales boost because you're not competing with all of the other games that are coming out in the fall. So kind of maybe a similar deal there with this Euphoria release style.
For sure.
The other green light is for a little franchise called Scream.
Ooh.
Scream sequel is a go from Spyglass and Paramount. The 6th installment is coming. Following, let's see, as of the writing of this story, which was February 3rd, it has 62.6 million domestically and 106.7 million globally, which isn't huge numbers.
I bet.
But for a horror movie and for what I can imagine the budget wasn't that big for something like this. That's pretty good.
I bet that movie cost $30 million to make.
Yeah. I'm sure they're gonna get their money back, and obviously they must have gotten something back if they're approving it for a 6th one.
Right.
Yeah.
A month after release.
Yeah.
Less than that.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks after release.
Yeah. Same producers and everything. So it's Radio Silence, Matt Bettinelli open, and Tyler Gillette. I don't know. They'll direct again, and then James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick, returning to the script for writing.
Cool.
And that is slated to start production later this summer. Late summer?
Yeah. I'm in, man.
Sometime this summer. Yeah, I'd be down. I mean, we were all pretty positive on Scream 5, and so was the public reception, I would say. I don't know. I don't remember the exact IMDb rating. I think it was somewhere
around 7.something. We were surprised, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I would be interested to see how they keep going. They did modernize, the style of Scream with the self-awareness and everything like that. I wonder how they keep that going, or how that can, be maybe redone or taken from a different angle in the sequel, because they can't just, do the same tropes that they did in this one. I'd have to imagine they try to find something unique again. And I have faith that they can do it.
Yeah,
that was a nice long pregnant pause there.
Yeah, I don't know if someone else is gonna jump in. Yeah, dude, I'm down for that. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by the fifth one. It'll, as with any Scream, though, it'll be interesting to see kind of what horror movies they pull from or what references we get.
Sure.
We kind of like through shits and giggles, like would we get like a Hereditary reference or something like that? And of course, we end up getting it. So we'll see. I can't pinpoint off the top of my head what we'll get in the new one. If that ends up releasing, say they do 2023 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they'll bring. You think they'll do a continuation of the characters?
I would
assume so.
The new crew.
Assume so.
Right. I guess the new generation of characters.
Do you think they bring back the old ones again?
Well, you can't bring some back.
Wow. Yeah. Bit of sizzle.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I wouldn't be surprised if Neve Campbell's back in there.
Yeah.
In somehow, some way.
If I've learned anything from the Scream franchise too, just because you're dead doesn't mean you're dead as well.
Although, didn't we see him? I guess he wasn't shot in the face, so anything's possible. Isn't that one of the rules?
Well, and you haven't seen the middle couple too, but sometimes people will leave old messages for you or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's other ways people can come back.
I'm sure. Maybe they don't even make it a sequel to this one. Maybe they do it somewhere in between.
Yeah, they could spin off. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, so that'll be coming if it starts production later this summer. Maybe late 2023. We can hope.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll see, and we'll keep you updated on that as it progresses. No trailer talk this week, so we're just gonna go ahead and head into Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of February 6th through the 12th. For anyone who doesn't know, this is all of the things coming to the streaming services that you love, hand selected by me, of course. Everything, there's a lot of stuff that comes to these streaming services, and these are the things that I think are worth checking out. There's a lot of garbage that comes to these streaming services. Let me tell you guys, I go through a lot of things that I roll my eyes at and wonder how it got greenlit. So these are the ones that I feel like are actually worth checking out. And also, let me know, both Squadron and listener, what slipped through the cracks. Like, if anyone else takes a look or sees, new to Hulu or whatever it is, and it's something I didn't mention, let me know so I know for the future to keep an eye out for.
Like last week, we missed Nightmare Alley. Came out on streaming.
Exactly. Yeah, and if stuff like that slips through, let me know. Anyway, to Netflix. The only thing coming is Sword Art Online Season 4.
Is this new, or is this
this is new?
This has been around and then now it's just coming to Netflix?
No, these are new episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tyler, you in?
No, yeah, Tyler, no.
No, I'm interested. This is a big series for me, and I fell in love with the first season, and it's something that I think as an anime lover, like, that it's a close one. So I'm definitely interested. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have pretty high hopes because obviously it's this series, and there's some good people behind this. But yeah.
Are you caught up? Like, could you just go into this fresh?
I could, but I haven't. This is gonna make me want to go into at least a third season
for sure.
Little peak.
You and I got like through a season and a half, I think, last year.
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll go back and finish it and go into this too.
Because like when you watch it, the first season is technically like 2 seasons.
Oh, that's right.
The second half of that is not good.
That's right. And
you get Alfenheim.
So I think I dipped out.
Is not good.
I dipped out in Alfenheim. So
it's hated on, but I really don't mind it.
It's like not bad, but nothing compares to the first 8 episodes of that show that they really should have dragged out and could have dragged out for like 2 seasons.
That's definitely was my reaction too when that first kind of season just ended, and I was like,
"It's pretty abrupt." You get hit with a lot in that first said season, and I think that's why I like fell in love with it so much, because the Alfenheim just kind of bats you over the fucking head. Like out of nowhere, it's like a steel chair in like WWE, and but it's still I still like those first like 8 episodes are just fucking magic.
Yeah, and they set themselves up to have those first 8 episodes. They had plenty of room to work with. How, like they set up the show, and I think they kind of just start breezing through levels when in the first 8 episodes is like they barely get through 6. Or something like that. Like they're at like to level 20 maybe at the end of the 8th episode, and then all of a sudden they're like all the way up to 60. It's like, God, you had so much to play with. There's so much like in between. Downtime.
It's insane.
Yeah. And they just kind of breeze right through it, which is very disappointing. I will say Gun Gale Online GGO. I think that's the 2nd season technically. Yes.
Yep.
That redeems itself. That
also really very good.
Yeah. That they redeem themselves on that one. That one's really good. So. We'll have to see. The 3rd season, I don't know if I've seen it. I think I've only seen up to the end of GGO, the 2nd season.
I would recommend still.
Okay. Maybe I'll give these a watch. I'm assuming all 4 seasons are on Netflix. I don't know for sure, but
I'm pretty sure.
Cool. Well, that's it for Netflix. Amazon Prime and Hulu don't have anything coming, and don't hold your breath on those. Looking ahead at the rest of the month, there's not much coming to either of those platforms. HBO Max is getting Antlers.
As reviewed on pod.
I don't know what episode it was. Probably around like 74, something like that. That I would be interested in how it holds up upon a rewatch. But that being said, I don't know if I really want to go rewatch it.
Yeah, that was not my favorite of the ones we've seen. I had really high hopes for it, and I just think it didn't live up to those expectations, which might have been my own fault in some ways.
Sure, you gotta keep those expectations appropriate, but still, even I had my expectations set appropriately, and even I was let down. So, that's it for HBO Max. Disney Plus is getting Book of Boba Fett episode 7, the finale, Finn, and they're also getting Assembled, the making of Hawkeye, another one of those behind the scenes shows of how they made the Marvel show.
Antlers is episode 77, folks.
Ooh, I was close.
You were in there.
3 or 4 off. Yeah, that's it for the new streaming list. Ty, Nathaniel, how caught up are you guys on Book of Boba Fett?
I am caught up.
Ty?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do y'all need a little? Do y'all want a second? Y'all want a little spoiler second? I heard this last episode was.
Yeah, I'm down.
Sure.
All right.
We can chat about it real quick.
Let me get my timestamps down, and then that way I can take my headphones off and
stamp her out there, bud.
Spoiler. Yeah, I'm gonna stamp her out. I'll get around to this show eventually. I think now that the finale's out, I might as well just wait for that and then binge it when I have some time. Maybe I'll do it this weekend after I catch up on all the work I got to do. All right, y'all are good to spoiler it up. Just let me know when I'm good to come back.
Cool.
All right. Spoilers.
Where you at, dog?
I'm all caught up. Yeah, so I'm up to date on Book of Boba. So I really liked all the episodes. I've really liked the show in general. I think again, I still hear a lot of people not really being in on it and stuff. And
yeah,
I don't know, man. That just surprises me. But again, and I've kind of reiterated this on the podcast before, I'm a person who has seen all the Star Wars movies, hasn't gone into the animated series, never read the comic books or anything like that. So Boba Fett to me was never really a character that I had a huge amount of feeling for or anything like that. And so this kind of like narrative that they've taken with the direction of this story seems to be kind of at odds with some of the other people's, kind of feelings towards Boba Fett, and maybe that's where that's coming in. But for me, this has all been really, really cool. And obviously, I don't know Cad Bane, but from what I've heard, he is quite a significant character as well. So it was, I thought his entrance was really cool, though, and I'm in to see what happens next.
Yeah. I think when we were talking about it earlier today, I think my only thing was my last sentence that I said, and I was like, yeah, there's just no Boba Fett in Boba Fett.
Right.
So. But other than that, and then I think that's just because I want to see him.
Sure.
Like, this is his show. I want, I'm totally cool with the Mandalorian being in it. Mandalorian's fucking baller. I love the first season of Mandalorian.
And the second.
And I think I would just like to see more of Boba Fett. But other than that, I'm fucking down, and I'm totally in. I like the fact that you get to see the little man again.
For sure.
And he's just trying to eat frogs. And
we get a whole episode of Luke, basically.
Yeah.
Which is
so
crazy.
I thought that was really cool. I was not planning on Ahsoka showing up.
No,
so that was pretty
great.
cool, even though they didn't really do anything. And then, you get the little things, and you got Yoda's little fucking lightsaber or the chainmail, and he's got to make this decision. And he's only like, 51 now?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, I'm still in. That's my only gripe. I want more Boba Fett in Boba Fett.
I feel like they've made it where like this show is just it's Mandalorian 2.5,
Sure.
and it's the book of Boba Fett. So like for me, it's I haven't really been as kind of like, I don't know, I guess bothered by that as much, but overall, yeah, I'm just kind of chilling and enjoying the world. I think it's really fun. So.
Oh yeah, it's fucking great. Except for the bikes and the Rip Doctor. We're still out on those.
All right, Adam, you can come back. I don't know how to signal you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What up, gents? I'm back.
You're spoiler free.
I apologize for the little noise I made earlier. I was on Twitter while you guys were talking and didn't realize my phone's volume was so high.
I didn't hear it.
My mic was unmuted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it popped.
I like played something on Twitter and I was like, is my mic muted? I looked up and I saw like the little green thing around my camera was lit up and I was like, well, shit. But it sounds like we're good. So cool. What a great spoiler talk that was, guys. Thank you for that in-depth analysis. I am very
sure to enjoy, obviously.
Yeah. I'll go back and listen to it.
Yeah, there we go.
See all these. Trust me, I'm a big fan of the show. Yeah, Ty, what else you been watching?
All right, well, yeah, I'll just fucking run it.
Go.
I actually watched a little bit more than I thought, and a lot more than I anticipated as well. So, I got around to Alita Battle Angel, so that's on my top 10 list. So I was very excited about that. And Leah watched it with me. She had never seen it before, so I was like, "Let's go."
The live action one, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, it's based off a graphic novel or an anime?
Light novel, I think, is technically.
Okay.
But
so that was fucking sick.
That's a great movie. I really, really enjoyed that movie.
I love it so much.
I've never seen it, but I've heard like pretty good things.
Yeah, that's one of the.
I think the only reason I get so surprised about things you hadn't seen, even though we probably already know about this, because I just completely want to forget the fact that you've said those things.
I think I've told this story on pod before, but I got to see that movie ahead of time, actually, through AMC A-List. And it was like the best. That is the best looking 3D movie I have seen in theaters since Avatar. Since the first Avatar. Well, there hasn't been a second one since. But it just it actually looks good, and they use it correctly. I think it has a really nice level of depth to the movie. And it's kind of a bummer that we never did anything more with that. But it's a great looking movie in 4K too.
Agreed. So yeah, I was very happy.
Do you have the 4K, Ty?
I do.
Oh, nice.
But I also watched it through a streaming service, which was also 4K. So.
What else you get?
But yeah. Since we're kind of going our Black History Month kind of theme here, I decided to kind of jump into that, and I was kind of scrolling through Peacock, and every streaming service kind of has, like their little folders, comedy, whatever. And since it's Black History Month, there's obviously a category for that in most streaming services. So I was scrolling through that on Peacock, and I came across Blade, and I was like, what a better way to celebrate that when nobody really realizes that he was like the first African-American superhero on film. So
right.
I think that was pretty cool. And I fucking love Blade. I love Wesley Snipes. So I was fucking hyped about that. So that was really fun to revisit. There's a lot of stuff in there that I had probably just forgotten because I hadn't seen it in such a long time. But I was very, very pleased. And if you hadn't seen that, it's a highly recommend for me. And I think Blake and Nathaniel would agree.
For sure. Adam, you haven't seen that, right?
What was that again?
Blade?
Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen it.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Ty brought that up to me, I think Saturday. But
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, man. The first Blade's awesome. The villain is probably the best villain in the
Deacon Frost
trilogy. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really like the second one with the crazy vampires.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the second Blade film the most.
For sure.
I think I like Deacon Frost as the best villain.
Okay.
Of just being...
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Really just wants vampires to take over the world and not be seconds to humans and things of that nature.
Right,
yeah. The guys just... What are they called? I don't even know what are they called in the second one.
Super vampires.
You said Reapers? Is that what you said?
No, but I think that's correct. I said super vampires, but I think Reapers is right.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Ty. Awesome.
Yeah.
Did they have all three on there?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. I might try to get on there.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting around to Trinity. Let's go.
Yeah, I always think of Nathaniel on that one. He said that movie's just a hellhole of what they had to get through to film it. So
it's one of those famous, just anything that could go wrong did.
So good.
With Ryan Reynolds. We were talking about him earlier.
True.
Yeah, we were. I had a little fun fact.
Yeah.
So I also got around to Boba Fett, obviously. I am caught up on Peacemaker, which is still just so fucking good.
It's very funny.
I'm just all the way in on it. And anybody that tells me they don't want to watch it because they don't like Peacemaker, or they just don't think it's funny, or they don't like John Cena, you're stupid. You're so dumb. Just give the guy a chance. He does a really good job.
You're not just wrong. You're stupid.
I'm not watching it because I'm against it anyway, but there are just other things that I'd rather watch right now. Should that be the case, or should I prioritize this more?
I think you should, just because you like the superhero universe, regardless of whether it's DC or Marvel. Mm-hmm. And I just, did you like him in Suicide Squad?
Oh yeah.
Then I would prioritize this somewhere. Yes.
Okay.
It's so good.
Okay.
So yeah.
Should I watch that before or after Book of Boba Fett?
Personally, I would watch Boba Fett first, just from a pure fan stance. But
sure.
So yeah, that's been really, really great. Leah and I got done with Just Like That. So that is the Sex and the City kind of sequel.
Requel.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. Resurrection in a way, if you will. So yeah, that's that. I'll stand by that show. It's good writing. They're good actresses, and they do a really good job. So I'm totally in. And at one point, Carrie, the main character, Sarah Jessica Parker, is in a podcast. She has a podcast. So I'm like, let's go. So
does she have a nephew named podcast that shows up in Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Nope.
Yep. Connected universe.
So we got done with that, and then obviously we've been kind of carrying on with Daredevil still. I still really like this. It's kind of slowing down a little bit for me, but now it's kind of starting to pick up.
Where are you at?
I think we're in the third season. I think we're early on in the
4?
third season. I think so.
Okay.
So yeah, we're within like the first 5 episodes of the third season. So things are obviously coming down off of, season 2 season finale, and now they're kind of trying to build things back up. I kind of know what's going on, just because I can kind of read the writing on the walls with this stuff, and I know a little bit about Wilson Fisk and like Bullseye and Daredevil and that stuff. So I can see that this Poindexter character is going that route. So yeah, I definitely want to kind of get more into that and see where that's going to go. And then today, while I was moving my setup around, because I just felt like I wanted to change it up, clean it up, I had a Deadpool 2 going on in the background, and that's just a fucking great movie. So
yeah, it is. That was awesome.
Yeah, so I got around to a lot more than I originally thought I was going to, so I was kind of happy about it.
Nice.
But yeah, that's all I got. And since Nathaniel, we have Peacemaker in common, why don't you hit her on up?
Yeah, for sure, man. So I also got to Peacemaker, obviously. Like you said, we caught up on Book of Boba too. And then I've just been tearing through The Wire, obviously. So I think I've talked about that for like 3 weeks in a row now.
Something like that.
But I've finished season 3. And I'm like an episode into season 4, I think. And I think I'm going to slow down a little bit and kind of really, savor it, obviously. But yeah, it's incredible. So Blake and I were talking about it the other day in the store, and just kind of how detailed it is, and all the things that I like about it, how all the characters work with each other, the exposition so well done. I've said this before, but you always understand what each character is thinking and what their emotional state is from scene to scene. So it's just it's really well done. And then kind of because of that, I guess, I walked out the other day and was deep in on an anime show called How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. And I think because I've just been watching The Wire a lot, and it's been very obviously kind of ground level and very grounded, it was nice to just like come out and have this really weird, very lighthearted show on. So the basic premise is like there's this magic kingdom, and they're being invaded by demons, obviously. And as kind of like there's a ancient summoning rite that you can summon a hero for. So they bring in this hero who's just a guy from our world, and it turns out everyone's expecting there to be like a warrior come through, but he's just a civil servant. So instead of going out and fighting all the demons, he's like, no, what we need to do is get your kingdom financially stable, and then we can kind of like build everything off of that. So he just kind of like goes around and like brings them slowly towards the Industrial Revolution. But yeah, it's lighthearted, it's goofy, it takes the piss out of a lot of kind of like those shows and everything. So kind of just a nice show to have on in the background for sure. And then I rewatched Nightmare Alley. As mentioned on the podcast before, I missed the first hour of it due to a very strange scheduling snafu at one point. So when I saw it in theaters, that is. So I really wanted to see it again. Luckily, it actually came to HBO Max last week. So I threw that on, and that's a great movie. And they've recently released it in black and white, re-released it in theaters, and I honestly might go see that as well. So. But yeah, that's really it for me other than Training Day. I will kick it over to Blake.
All right. Yeah. As you guys know, I've been kind of plowing through the Mission Impossibles. So I did 3. Actually, let me double check. I think I did 4 and 5. Which 5 is Ghost Protocol, which to be honest is probably the best one I've seen so far.
Ghost Protocol
I've obviously seen them all though. Or the 4, excuse me. So I watched 3, 4. Excuse me. Good. Thank you for pointing that out. And Ghost Protocol is probably the best of the 4 that I've seen the past. What is that? 2 weeks or so? I still think the latest one, with Henry Cavill is probably the best one. What is that? Fallout. So we'll see. Yeah. I'll get to that next week. I got what's the 5th one called?
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. Yeah. So I'll get to those 2 next week. The three was okay. Still kind of a little dated, but not as bad. 4 was actually pretty good. That's much more of like a modern action movie of like how you would see action movies now and sit down in theater.
How good is
Outside,
Philip Seymour Hoffman in 3? He is such a good villain in 3. I love him.
Is 3 your favorite Mission Impossible?
It might be. I'd have to rewatch them all back to back like you're doing to really give you an answer, because I haven't seen them all consecutively ever. Like I rewatched all of them up into Rogue Nation, and then I just watched Fallout when that came out after Rogue Nation.
Right.
So from what I remember of all of them, I think 3 is probably my favorite, almost purely because of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
3's a J.J. Abrams joint.
Is it?
It is.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is.
I think it's his first movie.
That doesn't sound right, but I'm not.
I mean, he did Veronica Mars and like TV shows before that, and The Lost, I think. But I think that might have been his first film.
Let me check. For directing.
Yeah.
Is what you're looking at?
Yeah, 3 I think was.
It is
2006 or something like that.
Yeah. He did a few episodes of Felicity, Lost, and the show Alias. And then Mission
That's
Impossible
what I was thinking of. Alias, not Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
Good call. I like 3. It was good. I don't know if I like it more than 4. Like I said, 4 just seems a little more modern. In 4 is like when they start getting to like Jeremy Renner's in that one. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it's of French descent. But the woman who was in No Time to Die.
Léa Seydoux.
Who's his love interest. Yeah, and she's also in The Lobster as well. Yes. Nathaniel, thank you. She happens to be in Ghost Protocol as well. So, there's just a few actors in there.
I was going to say, isn't Paula Patton in that one?
She is. Paula Patton's in that as well. So
she should come back. She's great.
That was definitely one where I turned it on and I was like, oh, I do know who these people are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that might play a little bit of a role. But
super quick side note. But did you guys know that J.J. Abrams directed an episode of The Office?
No.
Season 3, episode 17. It's entitled Cocktails. Came out in 2007.
There you go.
The more you know.
Yeah,
hilarious.
I know that. Yeah. Outside of that, I think that was all I got to because I just took up a lot of time of like on and off furniture shopping and things of that nature. Then I got to training day, and I think I watched this Friday. And this is not the first time I've seen the movie, but this is the first time I've seen the film in, I'd say, at least probably 3+ years.
Mm-hmm.
So 4+ years, and yeah, it was awesome. So that's all I could say. I think that was enough to get me. I'll probably go on a Denzel deep dive.
Yeah.
In the next few weeks. Yeah, I was close to putting on American Gangster after this, but it was just long as hell. So I didn't end up doing it. But I would recommend that to any of you guys. If you haven't seen that next, American Gangster is awesome.
I've
not. It is really good.
You could follow up.
Yeah. If you're into like the drug scene and things of that nature, yeah, I think it takes place in the 70s, or maybe the 80s. And he's just like,
I think it might be earlier.
You think it's before that?
Maybe. It could be the 70s. It's probably the 70s. I just remember there being a microwave and like a TV, and they were like, and like one of the scenes, they're like, oh, there's a new microwave here, and everyone's fascinated by the microwave.
Okay, right, yeah. I don't even know if I can pinpoint that scene, but yeah, that's good. But he's like trying to be like a coke kingpin type movie, Adam. But yeah, it's really good. Obviously, Denzel, so you know it's solid.
Denzel's Denzel. That's all I gotta say.
For sure. So maybe that'll take my next clip after I finish the Mission Impossibles. So what'd you get to?
Not a ton. Like I said, busy week, but I did get to a few things. I'm gonna start off with I ended up just tossing on Workaholics to like one of those shows in the background. I just kind of wanted something light and easy in the back, and that's exactly what that show is. I like just bite-sized 25-minute episodes, nothing too serious, and it's still pretty funny. Don't like absolutely love it. It's not, at least yet. I'm only 10 or so episodes into the first season. It hasn't done anything crazy for me yet where it's like, this show's incredible. But it is pretty good, and I'm probably just going to keep it on as something in the background and kind of see where it goes, if maybe it gets better or whatever it is. But all three of the main actors are really funny, and I kind of just like the shenanigans. It's been the perfect show to kind of just chill out to. And then the other thing I watched, as mentioned earlier. Now, before I get to this one, I do have to apologize for what I'm about to say, because I've made an effort recently to swear a little bit less on this podcast. I feel like it was a bit excessive for a little bit. And I've been trying to cut back on that.
That's
But
good. I appreciate that. That's something I have to work on too.
Yeah. And I just, I realized, I don't need to. I was kind of, just doing it because, sometimes I just add, swear words into how I talk, sometimes with friends, whatever it is. Just don't need to do it here, So I've been making an effort. But, ladies and gentlemen, I've decided and I've come to the conclusion season 2 of Euphoria fucks. It is fucking awesome. I am all in on this season now. First 2 episodes were a little shaky, but I've come all the way around on what they're doing with the second season. And those first 2 episodes are put into a little bit more of context for me, just because they were moving so fast with all of the characters. In the first 2 episodes, they're just like, oh, this character, they're like this now. This character, they're like this now. And they'll give you reasons why, but it was just so rapid and it was so quick to happen. And not only that, introducing a few new characters as well. That was just kind of hard to keep up with. And then on top of the other things I mentioned with how they were kind of changing up the cinematography a little bit and that kind of stuff. But I've realized now they're just doing all that in the front end to just have a bunch of fun, and these episodes since, and I'm assuming the last few episodes as well, they just kind of wanted to set up these new circumstances for their characters. They did that, and now they're playing out those new circumstances, and they're awesome. There's been a few really good character developments. My favorite episode so far has featured or had big developments around if anyone's familiar with the show, Cal, Nate's dad. He gets kind of his own episode that completely 180s his character and is crazy as hell in like what happens in it. And so that was my favorite, and it was actually really well done. And as far as like how they introduced his background, as they do with like the beginning of the shows, sometimes they'll do like the character backgrounds in depth on like where, how they grew up and all that stuff and why they are the way they are today and as we see them. So he got his own version of that. And what was really cool is that they've been switching up the cinematography and style and look of almost every single episode. It's slightly unique. And what they did with his episode is his origin story at the beginning was a little bit long. It was close to 10 minutes, I want to say.
Okay.
And since it took place in like the late 80s, since like it shows him when he was younger, and like in high school, they had a graininess to the camera a little bit to kind of almost not match exactly like an 80s camera, but they did add some film grain.
Sure.
But they kept that like throughout the episode, since it was like his episode and that he is featured prominently throughout. They kind of kept that style through it, and I really like what they did there. And they've done similar stuff with a few of the other episodes as well. So that was my favorite episode so far. Episode 5 just came out last night. I still don't know if I've recovered from it. It is a 55-minute just roller coaster. Because normally like structures of episodes for Euphoria or just shows in general, they're gonna have every episode is gonna have some kind of climax towards the end with like lead up and bits of tension in between then before that. This episode was just like starts with the climax and then you go, oh, okay, it's got to calm down a little bit, and then it just gets even crazier, and then you go, okay, it's got to calm down just a little bit, and they keep doing that for like 55 minutes. It's intense. But this last episode is around Rue, the main character, who so far this season hasn't really felt like the main character. They have done a good job of really highlighting some of the side characters to develop their stories a little bit more, but this was like kind of the culmination of her story. I really want to say up until this point as a whole, because they do include some stuff from last season, but definitely her story from this season. This is kind of the climax of that. But her story arc is kind of built up to this episode, and so the whole thing is just crazy. Twitter's been blowing up about it. I've seen so much about how people are having kind of the same reaction I am. So, Nathaniel, I would recommend giving the second season a shot at this point. I think it might have changed up enough and evolved enough for you to hopefully feel like it's still, or hopefully not feel like you've seen it before. I think they're starting to do some more things that could interest you. I don't want to say for sure because it's still Euphoria, same characters,
for sure,
same kind of thing. But I think they've changed enough to make this interesting for you, even if you feel like you've seen the first season before. They've just amplified the whole show 10 notches really.
Okay.
And it's really, really good. So I'm all on board now. I was a little apprehensive at to what they were doing for those first 2 episodes, but like I said before, Euphoria fucks. Okay, that is the definitive answer.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I think they have I don't know if they're doing 8 episodes in the second season, or 9. Let me see. 10. They're doing 10, so they're halfway done with this season.
Are they counting the special episodes?
All I did was I don't think so. No, those are separate, I believe.
Okay.
Because even on HBO Max, I went to go rewatch those, and you have to search Euphoria, and then it comes up with the show in both first and second season, and then those are separate title frames that you have to click on. They're completely separate from the seasons. So yeah, 10 episodes. I guess they're only halfway done, which is exciting because I love the show, but I'm nervous because if the 5th episode last night is not even close to the climax of this season.
Right.
I don't know if my anxiety can handle another 5 episodes, but I'm all in. I definitely recommend that show to anybody listening. It is awesome, as I've stated. But yeah, that's all I got to, besides, of course, a little movie, a little flick called Training Day. Welcome, listeners, to the main review segment of the podcast. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
What up, folks? If you are new here, or if you've just forgotten, the way our review segment works like this. Does that make sense? Whatever. The way it works is like this. There is 2 sections to it. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over all the plot summary from IMDb, who's in it, who directed it, what year it came out, all that good stuff. Then we'll go around the squadron here, see if we, what our first reactions are, and then kind of, our initial thoughts on the movie. Then we'll go a little bit deeper and decide whether or not we can recommend this movie. It's got to be a yes or no for a recommendation. There is no nuance on the internet. And then it'll be all spoilers. So we'll go deeper into the movie, any big twists, go deeper into our thoughts. I've said deeper 5 times. And we'll just really hash it out, see where we all think about it. And then at the end of it, if you haven't, or if you wanted to skip over the spoiler section, please do come back, because we're going to rank it up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast, ranked. With that being said, Adam, tell me about Training Day.
I would love to. This movie came out in 2001, rated R, with a runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes, and an IMDb rating of 7.7 out of 10. Definitely pretty solid. I feel like it could be higher personally, but that's not a bad score at all compared to some of the ones we've seen on IMDb. This movie directed by Antoine Fuqua, who I'm familiar with, but I really, looking through his IMDb, don't know if I've seen anything else of his.
Really?
Actually, you know what I've seen? Or no, he's director.
Have you ever seen Southpaw?
No, I've not.
That's actually not bad, to be honest with you.
I think Antoine Fuqua is a good director. Just in general.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I know he's pretty well regarded. But I was I know the name, obviously, but I was
sure.
What has he actually done? Have I seen anything else? And I was looking through his IMDb earlier, and I was I don't know if I've seen any of these. I've heard of a lot of these, so I know he's got cred, but I just haven't seen anything. And then it is written by David Ayer, who I'm sure people are also familiar with. He wrote, I don't know if did he direct these movies? No,
he's directed some, but he cut his teeth as a writer.
Yes, The Fast and the Furious. He's on there with this credit with the screenplay.
Yeah, I think
he wrote and directed Fury. What were you gonna say?
I think he did an uncredited or a script doctor on Fast and Furious.
Is that what it was?
Point.
Okay. Yeah. It says screenplay by him, but I was Anyway, well, he's got credits for Fast and Furious. He wrote and directed Fury, and probably most notoriously wrote and directed Suicide Squad from 2016.
True story.
Yikes. Starring Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke, Scott Glenn, Tom Berenger, These are just some side-ish characters. But then we have Cliff Curtis, Dr. Dre's here. Snoop Dogg, he plays, what's his character's name? Is it Wheelchair Jimmy?
Blue.
Yeah, that was actually really funny.
He plays Blue. And then Macy Gray.
Surprise
Eva Mendes.
Yeah, surprise Eva Mendes.
Yeah.
She's one I forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
I did recognize her. I couldn't like spot her per se, but I did recognize her. Yeah, I think that's like the main people, unless I'm missing anyone. Nathaniel, I don't know.
There's a couple of people that kind of like pop up just because they're young. Fran Kranz, who plays the driver of the Beetle. He's I always recognize him from Cabin in the Woods, and he's been in a couple different.
He was that guy.
Yeah,
that together. T said it. I can see it now.
Yeah, he's kind of like he was part of like the Whedon crew for a while. Obviously that hasn't aged well. And then obviously our other boy Noel Guglielmi. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but also has a Fast and Furious tie, and he plays Hector as well in that first Fast and Furious movie. But
I also forgot. I don't know if he shows up on the IMDb list. Oh, here he is. Terry Crews.
Terry Crews is in there. Yeah,
I forgot he was in here too.
Yeah, he plays gang member.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any lines, but he does look very intimidating.
It's true.
Yeah. The IMDb summary reads as follows. A rookie cop spends his first day as a Los Angeles narcotics officer with a rogue detective who isn't what he appears to be. I hate that. That spoils it. That's not fun. I didn't know anything about this movie going in, and I had a blast because of that.
I kind of agree with you.
I almost want to like bleep that out. Maybe I will. Should I?
Who knows?
That's like slanders.
I don't know. This is this is an old movie.
That's true. That's true. I guess I shouldn't be too shocked. I
think
I really am probably one of the only people left to have that spoiled.
You know, it's just like one of those things. It's past. It's got spoilers have an expiration date. You're fucking way out on this one.
That's true.
I do agree with Adam though that this movie is a little bit more effective if you don't know the kind of direction.
Oh, agree, 100%.
Yeah, it's very it's very you're experiencing it as Ethan Hawke does. You very much live it from his POV.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that in the spoilers section. Let's not talk too much more about that. There's really not much to fill in here per se. As far as the rest of the summary, I mean, you got Ethan Hawke. He's the rookie cop, new on the job, and he's just trying to make a good impression on Denzel Washington's character, Alonzo. That's
correct.
His name, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Alonzo. And get into his undercover narcotics squad. And it's about his first day, his training day, if you will.
Yeah, which is like may seem silly, but I just didn't realize that it all takes place over the course of a day. The first time when I knew about it,
I was like, "This is all in one day."
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine the like roller coaster Ethan Hawke's going.
Hell yeah! First day on the gig too.
First day.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So what we thinking? I'm the first. I'm assuming all three of you guys have seen this.
I have not.
No. You and Nathaniel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nathaniel hasn't. Nathaniel.
I want to hear your guys' opinions first.
Kick us off here, Nathaniel. What you thinking?
Yeah. So I would say I was a little bit surprised. It was not kind of the same tone I was expecting, and then like as soon as I was like, oh yeah, it's 2001, I was like, this totally makes sense now. But overall, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a horror movie. Like. We no one calls it that, but that's what it is basically. Is that it is one guy who's trapped with a possible psychopath, or this cop who doesn't play by the rules, and you experience all of the anxiety and terror and just a complete fish out of water that Ethan Hawke does as well too. So yeah, I thought it was really, really good. I thought it had a really nice immediacy to it. I thought it propels itself well, from scene to scene, and that you're just kind of, as Adam said, you're on this roller coaster, for better or for worse. I think the third act lets it down a little bit. You know, I thought the ending isn't quite as rewarding as maybe the story had kind of set up, or is not as emotionally cathartic as the story had kind of set up. But I don't know how I would change it too much. I just think they don't quite nail the final kind of interaction, maybe. But overall, definitely a big recommend from me.
Cool. Adam?
Yeah, as the other
rookie
Training Day virgin. Yeah. This was a lot of fun, and I was in almost immediately. That the diner scene, as I kind of alluded to earlier, was awesome, and I was like, I'm in. Denzel in this role, I can already tell I love him, and I was on board from there on out. It really didn't take much. I was just like, cool, sold. Because I was kind of feeling iffy on that opening scene. I was like, God, how many times have I seen like this opening scene? You know, like the very opening. And then they get to the diner, and I was like, I've seen a lot of diner scenes, but not like that. And yeah, I was on board immediately, and it definitely doesn't go where I thought. Like I said, I didn't know anything going into this movie really about it. Just knew it was Denzel and Ethan Hawke, kind of both in their prime almost. Denzel is always in his prime, let's be honest, but Ethan Hawke for sure kind of peaked around this time.
I disagree.
It was I was on board, and it was awesome. As far as like cop movies go, this is definitely up there. I really like looking at this, especially like in context. It's so cool looking at it both. Cool maybe isn't the right word, but interesting to look at it from like the context of how something like this would operate today, and also like when this movie was made, because obviously, you know, those issues were still around back then with kind of the crime problems they're having in the 90s and all that kind of stuff, especially in LA. Like,
yeah, they referenced the Rodney King trial.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looking at this movie 20 years later in both contexts is really interesting to do as far as analyzing it. It's how it aged and how I can't imagine how it was received when it came out, because I'm sure it was even kind of just as impactful as it would be today if like something like this were to come out again. But I don't think we'd see much like this, at least in this style almost, come out today. But yeah, this is definitely a recommend for me. Not like the greatest movie ever, but still like really, really good, and definitely one of my favorite Denzel roles. I would say not by far, but definitely one of my favorite Denzel roles for sure. Yeah, recommend for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll follow up then. I mean, I think I'm with you on my favorite Denzel role. Like I said, I'd probably go this or American Gangster. But yeah, man, this I've seen this movie countless times, but I haven't seen it in a few years, and I was sold again, like at the diner scene, and then they get into the Monte Carlo, and then that's when I was like, "Yep, I remember why I like this movie so much."
Yeah, that was another line. Where, yeah, we're just like, you don't find this down at the police station or something like that. I forgot.
Yeah, he's like, "What about?
What
about
the office?
You
don't.
Yeah, you're in the office. Yeah,
what a great line.
So yeah, there's so many lines in this that I just like see throughout like pop culture and stuff, and that I just remember from watching this movie so many times. So yeah, dude, it was fun to rewatch it. I think this is actually Denzel's first Oscar. I think was this film, if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
So obviously that's a testament to how good he did, because we all just sit here and praise him for this role, where this is a lot of people's favorite Denzel role, or top 1, 2, 3.
It is
to that point though. I do think Ethan Hawke is awesome in this movie too, though. Like, to be completely honest with you, I think this is something he probably could have got a nod for, like best supporting actor or something of that nature. And yeah, man, I think it's just good all around. There's stuff that just always ends up being timeless, like seeing Snoop Dogg in this. It's just like timeless. I know he's in the movie every time, but it's just like, oh, Snoop Dogg's in here. What I forgot upon watching this time is that Dr. Dre is in here. Like, that's the one that snuck upon me. I was like, holy shit, Dr. Dre is definitely in here. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So Macy Gray too, rounding out the 3-musician trio.
Yeah. So yeah, man, all around good film. This is like a super classic to me of just something I've seen in like middle school. You know what I mean? And I just like, oh, this is cool at like 13, and I still feel the same way at age 27. So that says enough.
Yeah.
Ty?
Yeah, man. I've seen this for quite some time. I just they do such a good job. It's always really surprising to me as far as how good this movie was back in the day and how it's still aged this well. You just see a lot of really good scenes, definitely some really good acting, obviously good writing. I really almost like it's so real, and I think that's why you really get just such a good feeling for it. But I mean, we'll get into everything else. You guys have also kind of said just a ton of shit, but I love this movie. This movie's great. You guys hear me quote it, and so
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm all the way in on this thing.
There were a few times where I was like, I'm pretty sure Ty and Blake have both said that shit before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or that line. Sorry, gotta watch my cursing.
It's my fault, bro. I curse a lot too. So
you're good. You're good.
Sorry, Papa Schwartz.
Yeah, blame Tyler, Papa Schwartz.
You're.
But yeah, man. So I think we got 4 recommends all around.
Yes, sir. As it should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've not seen Training Day and you do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check the episode description where I've left a timestamp you can jump to, where you'll be taking to our ranking of the movie Hop Upon the Entropy List.
Hop upon.
Spoilers.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down.
Shit definitely goes down. Well, we have to swear that time. That's our famous line at this point.
All right, that's fine. That's fair.
Yeah, it's kind of like when there's like a swear word in like a book and your teacher asks you to read out loud, like, "Hey, it's there. I got it.
It's the best day of my life."
It says penis right there. I had to say it out loud.
Yeah, those are some funny days though. Definitely.
Yeah, right.
He says
I'll never
nipples.
Yeah.
I'll never forget in middle school when this girl who everyone didn't like really mispronounced the Niger River.
Oh God.
Oh, for sure, dude.
And
can you imagine being
no one said anything, but everyone
Yeah.
looked up and everyone looked at each other, and the teacher didn't say anything and she looked up too. It was really funny.
Yeah, that's we're gonna be way off topic. That's like the epitome of like being like a black like child in like an education system for sure, dude. It's like stuff like that.
Oh man.
So yeah, dude, stuff that was always funny.
Anyway,
nonetheless, Training Day.
Training Day.
Shit goes down.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
This movie, I love this movie, dude. And
Well, they nail it right from the start, right?
It.
When like he gets into the car, and I think it's when he gets into the car at the start, and then he's like, "What are you thinking?" He's like, "I don't know what to think. I have no idea what you're going to say, or like I don't know what's happening." And you're like, "Yeah, I have no idea what to believe from Denzel too."
Yeah, you're just right in the middle of it.
Right,
you're right in the middle of it.
And he's so good at keeping you uncomfortable. Like you don't know if he's like joking or not, or if he's riding you, or like where he's going to take the conversation next. Like he's just so unpredictable in that manner, and it's so unsettling. And I called him a psychopath earlier, but I truly believe like this is a great sociopath character. Like he's like Hannibal Lecter-esque in this.
Yeah, right, for sure. This is a great villain role, and this is something I wish we would get to see Denzel be a villain more often. But yeah, I think this is one of the better put together villain roles that we've seen, especially like a buddy cop movie, whatever you want to call it. And it even resonates more on several viewings. Which I've obviously seen now, and I'm sure Ty can test that as well, where like there's so many things now that like when Denzel says something or Alonzo says something to Jake, or like mannerisms, it's like, okay, like it's even more creepy when you realize the real intent.
Right.
First you're like, oh, he might just be sincere, but he's kind of fucking weird. But
you know
what I mean? Like I don't know. And then you realize the full intent, everything, you're like, yeah, this guy is insane, dude. He's a menace.
Even once like that turn happened and you realize that Denzel is the villain of the movie, which I was wondering, I was like, I'm like halfway through this movie and I feel like I don't know what like the overarching story is. So far I've just tagged along, and then I kind of you start to realize what's actually happening with the story. But once that turn happened with Denzel, I was thinking back, I was like, I bet there are so many, I can even think of a few like hints towards it and how he was interacting. And I can't wait to give this movie a rewatch because I would love to look out for that.
Yeah.
But my God, Denzel in this poor Ethan Hawke, because like you said earlier, Blake, like he's really good in this movie, but he looks like a clown next to Denzel in it. Like it's insane. He's so good, and then you just have one of the greatest actors of all time just giving one of his best performances. It's just
right.
Poor Ethan Hawke, man. How can he there's nothing he can do. He's great, but then Denzel is just on another level.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
But I think that's also kind of like his character,
Yeah.
I think that's a good ode to Ethan Hawke. I mean, he just does such a good job at being the fucking rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just
he does play.
It's cool too because he's actually like kind of like you're alluding to. He's kind of like a rookie in his acting career.
Sure.
And it's pretty cool to kind of see that.
Yeah, how early on is this for Ethan Hawke? Because what does he have before this? What is he like most well known for?
A lot of his
I knew Ethan Hawke for would be this, and then I don't know.
It's a lot of his Richard Linklater work.
I'm just like a horror guy, so that's not reason I can do that.
He's got quite a bit before this.
Yeah, Dead Poets Society. He's super young.
Okay.
He is in that. Yeah,
he's a main character.
About that.
Yeah,
I am familiar with Ethan Hawke through my freshman year biology class viewing of the movie Gattaca.
I was gonna say Gattaca probably.
With
that's always the biology movie that they pull up on there.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, Ethan Hawke's a great actor. Like you said earlier, he hasn't been good, but like he's awesome now too. Like I think he's one of the better working actors out there in general. But I'd
love for him to make a comeback.
Yeah,
like an actual comeback.
He works a lot with Richard Linklater. His Before trilogy, Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, and After Sunset. Maybe, I don't know. That's really famous among film circles. Boyhood is very famous in kind of the film world for a lot of that.
He's in Boyhood. I haven't seen. I just saw it.
He's the dad in Boyhood. And he's in a couple other stuff, but he typically just kind of does indie stuff or just stuff that he wants to do, I think, really.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
I just saw looking at his IMDb, he's going to be in Moon Knight, the new Marvel show.
Yeah, he's the villain, I think.
Yeah. So that'll be super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think he did well. But Denzel is just, I think he's on a different plane in this film, as he usually is in all of his roles. But
we've sorry, Blake, I keep cutting you off.
No, go ahead, bro.
Well, we've kind of brought it up earlier a little bit. We were kind of talking before the pod, but there's just a lot of really good actors in this as well too. You have Cliff Curtis, Tom Berenger, Scott Glenn, he's awesome.
Right.
Ava Mendes shows up. Even in a small role, she's really good too. So I think this movie's very well written, as we've kind of referenced a couple different times, that like if you're paying attention, you put the story together as you're going as well, and things that are previously said come back into a new light. You understand them better. You're constantly finding out more about the Denzel character, and then I just think all the performances really help it out too. And then you've got Antoine Fuqua, who at this point was really directing a ton of music videos and stuff, so he's got this great dynamic style and everything, and it just works for me. I'm sorry, Blake. Continue your thoughts. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, no, all good, man. But yeah, like I said, you can on second and third and fourth and fifth viewing this movie, it's so creepy. I think Nathaniel nails it when he says it's like a horror movie. You just see how sinister and just how much of a psychopath Alonzo is, and like I said, in that Monte Carlo scene, which is probably one of the famous scenes from this, as well as the end, Alonzo ends up asking him. I forgot what his question was, but then Ethan Hawke is like, "Oh, like I'll do whatever you ask me for," and Alonzo just smiles, and you realize like that's exactly what he needed to hear.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? He's like, "Okay, like this entire plan is gonna work.
You want to go to jail, or you want to go home?"
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "This guy's sold," and it's good, man. And then it makes you think like, okay, I mean, the whole time did they plan on trying to kill Jake, or like? Maybe not. I don't know. I still go back and forth every time I watch this, to the point where maybe the original plan was just to recruit him. He was going to give him a cut of the $4 million that came up off the guy, right? And call it a day. But things obviously went south. He didn't take the money, and then he had to improvise. So I don't know. It's weird, man. But there's so many little nuances like that. How did you guys feel about the scene where they end up where they basically do the raid and they seize the money, they shoot the guy, they try to frame the death and things of that nature. How'd you guys feel about that on first viewing?
And it all just happens so quickly where you're just like, oh, he shows up to all these to this table of like experienced agents or police officers, which looking back on that scene after the fact, I was like, no wonder they all gave him such weird looks when he introduced himself.
For sure, yeah.
I knew he was the fall guy.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. No one's like openly polite to him. They're just kind of like nodding, but like no one shakes his hand or anything.
And that's exactly why, is because they know what he's there for already.
Like, oh, this guy's fucked.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that scene, but then it's like you're like, okay, what is he there trying to do? What is Vegas? What is all this stuff? And it's like, okay, you have no time to explain. We're just gonna go raid the house, and then all that shit starts happening. And that was a huge turning point in the movie, obviously. And I checked the timestamp. I was like, damn, I got like 40 minutes left of this. I can't wait to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm glad you guys like it. The scene with where Jake saves the lady from like being sexually assaulted, raped, to see that come full circle and end up like saving his ass, like basically in the third act of the movie, was pretty good.
That's probably one of my favorite things about this movie.
Yeah. It just rewards his good behavior, rewards, because this whole movie, I was going to say earlier, like Denzel almost convinces you that what he's doing is okay.
Is right. That's what's crazy.
You're almost on board. Like, he goes,
Right.
if you want to stop the wolves from eating the sheep, you got to be a wolf or whatever. And like, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see that. Like, maybe you do have to be a step above. Like, I can see where his mindset's at. Not that, it's completely justified for everything that he's doing in this movie. But
there is some truth to that
mindset. There is some truth.
There is some truth to that.
There is. Like, you can't save everybody, and if you're gonna save more people, you maybe have to let some people suffer in that kind of sense, and like all that kind of gray area. He kind of convinces you, and then you just to see at the end of the day that the good-hearted character comes out on top, and his good actions throughout the movie end up saving him later. Yeah, great rewarding, great writing. Really like to see that out of that. I was really pleased that I was really cool that came back to save his ass.
Yeah.
I also did love
nerve-wracked in that. Were you guys nerve-wracked in that scene?
Not super nerve-wracked, but I was like not expecting to go there. Yeah. I loved those characters they sat down with. They were just kind of shooting the shit with him. I thought that was just going to be another one of those things with the character. Didn't really consider the fact that he was just going to dip. So
that he sent him there. Then he had to carry his own money, his death money. He's the person carrying the box and hands it to him.
Yeah. Bro, that scene's so wild.
For sure. When you break it down, it's crazy.
That's tense. Like, you, especially in 2001 in like fucking LA, like that's not a fucking joke.
Yeah. True.
And that whole scene is very tense. I love it. I love that Tuco that's not his real name. I don't know the actor's name, but that's who he plays in Breaking Bad. He's one of the main drug dealers, and he's a fucking psychopath. He's an absolute psychopath. He asked him if he's ever got his shit pushed in.
Yeah. And that's when at that point, that's when you're like, okay, something might be up. Yeah. Before that, you're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's another drug deal or something like that. And then that's crazy, man. And
it's wild.
And then once he actually makes a phone call to to his niece, or it was either niece or cousin, whatever it was. And you're like, okay, he actually might be saved. But then even then she's lying to him. She's like, is she gonna tell him the truth that she wants?
Which is true though. That's what any 16-year-old would say. Like, did you go to class today? Like, of course I went to class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And you're like, well, shit. We obviously know he did it, but like, is she gonna do it? Is she? Gonna
right. Is she gonna tell the truth?
Yeah. And then also the ending scene where he goes back into that neighborhood, and everyone's like, "Fuck's this guy doing back here?" But then everyone's turns on Alonzo because none of them like him either, and finally someone who can stand up to him and they're of course going to support him.
They hate him.
Love that come around.
Nobody likes him. The Hispanic,
bro, a lot of it's because like back in the day, a dirty cop was more hated than like a criminal, and you could do more damage as a dirty cop.
Right.
Yeah. And the caveat to that too is what makes him so powerful is like him knowing he's a policeman. Like nobody who's like black or Hispanic is going to have any leverage on killing a cop. Like you're fried if you do that at this time. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he walks around with that presence. I think that's why he walks on that pedestal. He said, what's the line he tells him in the car? Like, I think he said he walks on a different level, or he walks on a higher power.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because he knows the people he deals with, like, there's no answer to anything he does. Like, they can't go to the police. The police will never be on their side.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove, man.
As you say, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. And even when he takes him over to the essay's place, and then even the main guy, he was like, that's why I never shake his hand. Like he's a snake. He's like, I never shake Alonzo's hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like,
no one trusts that guy.
Yeah, and then you put that together and you like watch the film, and like nobody ever does. So even like when he ends up going to the Black Hood, and he's talking to the people, like nobody ever like greets him with joy. You know what I mean? It's just very like head nods and stuff like that, but there's not like a mutual respect of like handshaking and things of that nature. But yeah, this guy's he could fuck any of us over at any given time.
Facts.
Right. What a great character.
I like the fact that you're still catching some of the 90s here, especially when you're in LA. You're getting like these cool like skyline shots and everything like that. You still get a little bit of like Fast and the Furious in there now too, because they're both 2001. So
that is one thing I needed to bring up, was some of the soundtrack in this is a little rough nowadays. Just new metal like covers.
Every movie around this time had that.
Yeah,
but and you know, you go back and you watch Breaking Bad, and there's dubstep in the first season. Like nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect.
Right.
You know, everything ages different.
Everything can age, perfect.
Yeah, right. We're gonna watch we're gonna watch Far From Home in 20 years and be like, the music was so dated. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But
and like how the detectives are all still wearing like open shirts, like 90 like bowling shirts. They're trying to look like super Miami and shit like that. Like it's so funny, it's so spot on. They're wearing gold chains with just bulletproof vests. Suit up, okay. Let's just go put on a vest. So I always love that aspect of it too. It's just raw. It's like raw 2001, and like there was actual shit going down, and like there were less rules.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I cracked up when they pull up to Snoop Dogg and he goes, "What you guys need?" or something like that. He goes, "Want some crack?" He goes,
like
"Crack." I'll smell like bacon. Just immediately. Oh, so good.
Yeah. That's fun. And then even in that time, that's when you can see Jake slowly learning to take Alonzo's eye, because he's like, "Do you want to pick up the evidence?" And he's like, "Man, fuck that." That's because so so he's like, "Okay." That's when Alonzo's starting to realize like, if we can pull this off,
Yeah.
And I don't think he really had the intent to kill Jake. I think he had everything set up.
I think so too. Yeah.
So that he could just be the scapegoat. And
Exactly.
But Jake didn't take the money. So I mean, it's crazy, but
just the fact that this all happens in one day is cool too.
Yeah,
because I also noticed when I put it back on for the rewatch that I do while we have the podcast on, like the very opening shot is like of the sunrise, like, just to signify, it is just a new day.
Yep.
Very, very, very beginning of the day, very early, and the last shot, I don't know if it like shows the moon, but it's just obviously nighttime. He's returning home or whatever it is. So he kind of just completed, one day. Like that's all it was. Crazy.
Yeah. Even some of the cinematography in this is awesome though. Like I'm watching the scene right now, where they're pretty much about to do the siege and they're going to end up shooting. I forgot the guy's name. I think is it Roger?
Roger. Yeah.
And then Denzel ends up telling the guy to like close the blinds, and it like shades half his face.
Yes,
and like I think you can tell like that's like when the tone totally changes. He's like, "All right, like we've been in here joking." He's like, "But you're gonna have to fucking shoot this guy in the chest."
Yeah.
And then Ethan Hawke is like laughing. He's kind of like, "No, are you serious?" He can't like piece it together. And Denzel's like, "Yes, like I'm serious."
The lighting in that scene is great. It's really, really good to kind of convey that shifting that happens in that scene. That kind of 180 that is fully realized there. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Ethan Hawke has a few scenes like that where you can see it's just a very genuine, like he's like contemplating it. Like that was one scene where he wants him to shoot him. Another one was when he wants to take the money from the seas, and then he's like, "Yeah, this is yours." Like it's 250 grand, and he's like,
What?
He's like, and Alonzo's like, do you want to take it? And he was like, nah, right? Like, he's like asking, like, right? Like, I don't want this. Like, I don't know if this is a setup or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this is a test.
He doesn't know if he's fucking with him again or not.
Yeah. It's
like
he can't tell, right?
Was it PCP or weed or whatever it was?
Yeah. Which is a setup in hindsight now, when you think about it, for sure. He had that set up, and they planned on getting that so he could smoke it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
so he couldn't.
So he could
snitch.
be incriminated later. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. It's all so well thought out when you look back at it. It's just what I loved, and what I kind of again realized halfway through, looking back at all the things leading up to that. Like, oh man, it is so smart,
so good, dude. And like I said, that's why that Monte Carlo scene is awesome on second and third watch.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, I'll do anything you need.
Yeah, this movie doesn't waste like any scene.
No,
everything is building towards something, either for Ethan Hawke's character, for Alonzo, or just kind of for the overall plot. There's no wasted lines, really. Everything is just kind of building on top of each other, really, really tight and compact. And just the fact that they can do one day in 24 hours so efficiently. This movie never drags. This movie, like I said, got me at the diner scene and had my attention until the closing.
How long is this movie? I don't think it's 2 hours.
2 hours and 2 minutes is the.
That's such a good pace for a movie, right? Like 2 hours is like it's so cool, dude.
It was so perfect. I never once was like, when's this ending? I was like, how much more do I have? I want as much as possible, because once that shift happens, it was like, this is a completely different movie, and I'm so on board, and I was so happy to see that I still had like 45 minutes left.
Yeah,
this movie's great.
You guys, did you all catch? And maybe Ty caught on second viewing, but or third viewing, whichever viewing it was, is after the heist at Rogers, where Alonzo's in the car and then he's talking to him on the phone. And he's like, "Oh, like make sure
your bathtub's clean." Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that catches me every time. Obviously on first catch I didn't catch it to Nathaniel.
I did not either.
It's clutch for catching that. Yeah, but he's obviously talking to the essays like,
yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? He's like, I'm gonna bring him over there in 2 hours. Like, let's get this thing situated. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, he's evil, man. There's no way around it.
Wild.
Yeah. Do you guys like his ending dialogue? Or I actually read, I think most of that was just improv by him, where he's just like going off.
Yeah, it does. That would make a lot of sense, because
I feel like
so
he's
natural.
Yeah, he's so deep into that character at that point. He's just going.
He's just
Exactly. He's like interrupting himself as he's speaking. Yeah, that's when you know, like, it's like, this is awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Hey, you shot me in the ass.
I laughed at that bit.
Yeah, it's a great one.
And even in those final seconds or whatever, I mean, he's still trying to manipulate him, right? Where he like puts his badge on. He's like, you're not gonna shoot me, man. He's like,
or when he doesn't know anything else, man.
Yeah.
Well,
and you
even when
can't
he
shoot a
comes
cop
back
in the
and he
back.
goes, yeah.
So
when he comes back, he's like, "Oh, you passed the test. Like, you're officially in."
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, come on, man. Jig is up. Jig is up.
Yeah, he kicks the door down. He's like, I can't believe he's alive. He starts clapping.
And just props to this movie for even keeping the tension alive in that last scene, in the street, because you don't know if Ethan Hawke is actually going to shoot him.
Right.
You kind of get the idea that he probably will, but like, you don't actually know. You know that Denzel will shoot him if he gets that gun, probably.
Right.
And you don't know if the
the crowd's
like
doing.
the neighborhood is if they're gonna which one they're gonna side with. Like, he raises that gun, or that I don't know if the character had the name, but the guy who worked the door or whatever raises that gun, points it, I think, at Ethan Hawke. Points it at Ethan Hawke, and you kind of go, shit, and then points it back at Denzel or whatever it was. Yeah, like, just so many moments in this movie where you kind of just hold your breath a little bit, like, oh fuck, what actually is gonna happen, because it could go so many different ways.
That's awesome, dude. Like I said, this is probably my favorite Denzel role, dude. I could watch this movie.
It's up there. I haven't seen. I mean, Denzel's got a lot at this point, so I haven't seen everything. But of the ones I've seen, this is so far up there. Definitely.
Yeah, I think this. A lot of people would say American Gangster. I haven't seen Malcolm X. That's surprising. That's like one I really want to see.
Yeah,
and a lot of people talk highly of him on that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one I got to get to as well. But everything else I've pretty much seen.
All right, before we wrap up, spoilers. Does anybody have any favorite Denzel or quotes in general from this movie?
King Kong.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's a good one. Yeah, I caught that one at the end. I was like, what a fucking great.
I kept waiting for it.
What a great line.
King Kong ain't got shit on me. The one where he's like, He's like, "You bitches be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get
Yeah.
done with you." Yeah, that's classic too.
Oh my God.
That
it's
whole
so good.
dialogue at the end. There's
If
just so many
that
quotables in
if
that.
that dialogue is improv, no, that is worthy of like 3 Oscars because
Yeah.
that was really, really good.
Mm.
Anything else there that we want to?
I really like that you want to go to
Throw out
jail,
there?
you want to go home.
Yeah. I also like I love the delivery of how Denzel gives it's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that. He says it multiple times, and each time he's like,
Yeah.
damn. He says it with some authority. That is just
But
like, yeah, you know, you're
That's
not
so
wrong.
true though in the court of law.
It's so true.
That's
It is
really
so
what it
so
is, man.
true.
You have to
Exactly.
be able to prove
He's
it.
not wrong at all. That's the
Yeah.
fucked up thing. Sorry,
Yeah.
effed up thing. I'll
Yeah.
get around to not cursing as much eventually.
Hey man,
It's a
it's a
process.
habit change.
Yeah, right. It
Takes time.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he even says that to him when Jake kicks in the door, right? When like he's in there like counting the money, and he's like, "It's not what you know." And he's like, "Who are your witnesses, man?" I forgot who he points out. I forgot the Hispanic guy's name, but it just kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier. We're like, none of those people are credible, like in the court of law,
Right?
And like that's why he just walks on. He's a god, for lack of a better word. Like he knows everybody he associates with. Like they can't do anything to touch him.
Well, it's a cop's word against civilians.
Right.
Most
a
of the time.
minority civilian at that. Like, there's no way that's fine. You know what I mean?
Especially since most of these people that they're interacting with probably have some kind of criminal record.
Exactly.
Anytime that happens, you're a felon. You're not getting priority in a courtroom, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. What a great movie. All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else to touch on, I think we're going to head on out of spoilers. So welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank Training Day up upon the Entropy list.
Up upon.
For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a single list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. All right. This is going to be a good one. I think the easiest comparison is kind of to the Boys in the Hood and Paid in Full that we did last year. Kind of similar time, similar themes, but will it get higher than those?
Yeah, you want to kick it off? Yeah, let's have you and Nathaniel kick it off on first viewing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I have to really quick figure out where I'm gonna put this.
For sure. I'm looking right now.
I think I got it.
What you thinking, man?
I'm gonna toss it in at 22, below Kill Bill Volume 1 and above The Conjuring.
Okay.
Yeah, I think once you hit Kill Bill, there's that's a certain echelon of movies that
for sure
is just so close under.
For sure.
And I think it does edge out The Conjuring actually by quite a bit, and that might just be a genre preference for me because The Conjuring is quite a great horror film, and that's part of the part of the trickiness that comes along with the Entropy list and how we rate these movies. But comparing them one movie to another, I think that's a good spot for it. I think looking above all of the movie, looking at the movies above Kill Bill is what I was trying to say. I don't think there's really there's a few obviously, but some outliers, but there's not many that I would argue are worse than this one. I think that's a good spot for it. So
yeah.
Nathaniel,
I have this at 25.
25, a little bit lower, below below Scream and above Boys in the Hood.
Nope, below Boys in the Hood, above Shang-Chi.
You know what? I had already moved Training Day too high. That is my fault.
Yeah, so I got it right below.
You like Boys in the Hood more than this, then?
Yeah, I think Boys in the Hood, when I look back on it, is just more distinctive to me as like a voice. This is a great movie, and has definitely that cop feel to it and everything, but I think for me at least, the Boys in the Hood is a little bit more grounded, a little bit more realistic, a little bit more of I don't know, kind of a slice of life thing for me, and I think that just played a little bit better. This is definitely more of the genre, you know, and I think that just kind of puts us slightly below that one, and then Scream for me, that's a huge one. Conjuring is a big one too, and then I'm right with Adam in that Kill Bill and above is pretty tough to crack, anyways. But I do think this is better than Shang-Chi. I think it's better than Suicide Squad. It does hurt me to see Pig down there still, but what are you gonna do about that one? But
even Kill Bill Volume 2 is all the way down there.
And I was kind of looking through the list too. Obviously, there's some bangers kind of around that mark too. But yeah, 25 for me. Between this and Boys in the Hood, I do have Boys in the Hood just edging it out.
Gotcha.
That's a respectable ranking, Nathaniel. I have no qualms with that. Blake, figure yours out yet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm awfully close to what Adam's thinking, just because you guys know I got a soft spot for Kill Bill. I don't really care for Requiem for a Dream, so that's what kind of throws me for fits. Where on paper, I want to put this above Requiem for a Dream, but I don't know if I can put it above Kill Bill. But I think we all kind of go through those battles when we do the rankings. So I think I'm just rock with Adam at 21.
I was at 22. Do you want to go?
22. Pardon me. Yeah, so below Kill Bill. Actually,
above Kill Bill.
I just like this more.
You love Kill Bill, don't you?
I love Kill Bill though, and I love Go-Go and Kill Bill. Specifically for one scene or for one line, to be completely honest with you.
I like the strange harem of women we're building around Blake here. We've got Florence Pugh.
Right. But yeah, man, I'll bite the bullet. Just because I don't know, I don't really care for Requiem for a Dream, so then I'll put this at 20.
20.
So I'll put it above Requiem for a Dream. Yeah,
below Dunkirk and above Requiem. All right. 20 it is for Blake. Ty.
24.
24.
Solid. Yeah.
Below Scream and above Boys in the Hood. One higher than Nathaniel. You like this more than Boys in the Hood?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like
Boys in the Hood. For you?
Nah, he does, and that's just Nathaniel killed it with the whole explanation on that, being more of like a slice of life versus kind of like the genre. But this is just such a good fucking movie
for sure. Denzel makes this movie watchable.
I was just about to say. I wonder how this movie would stack up, or how good this movie would compare to how it is if someone else played the role of Alonzo.
I don't even think
it wasn't Denzel. I think it makes.
I think it'd be a very average movie, at best.
Yeah, I think it'd be above average, but slightly. Yeah. It depends on who would take that role instead, but I do think he just makes this movie what it is, as far as how good it is. His performance in this is definitely the best part, the highlight. All right. Well, after all of the rankings are in, that puts the average at 22.75, meaning it is going to be tie-breaking The Conjuring. Now let me see here what The Conjuring's rating is.
The Conjuring's probably pretty high on there, though.
It is. It is actually.
What's that? I'm guessing
8.1.
As we said earlier, Training Day is 7.7. The Conjuring comes in at 7.5. So the Training Day tops out The Conjuring, and will be placed at 22 on the Entropy list.
I like it. I could live with that in Kill Bill and The Conjuring back to back to back. I got soft spots for all three of those. So, and Scream. So
it's a killer list right there.
That actually is. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
We fumbled Requiem for a Dream, fellas, and Judas and the Black.
I don't know if we did though. Like maybe a tad bit lower, but like that movie is still really good
deep.
At like
just
getting a reaction out of whoever watches it. And I think we kind of talked about it when we reviewed it. That was all the way back in episode 27, way back in the day. But when we reviewed it, we just talked about how like this movie is incredible, but I don't know if I ever need to watch it again. Just
for sure, it's a roller coaster.
Just what it puts you through. So yeah, I don't know if it's. I could agree with some, maybe +2 up or down for Requiem, but like it's not that far out of place.
Gotcha.
I'm more mad at Judas. I think that could be knocked down a few. That's the one that kind of sticks out to me. But besides that, this list it's looking pretty respectable.
No Way Home too for me. I think could be a little bit lower, but that's just me.
I think I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah. Maybe we might have been riding a nostalgia high off of that one, but
for sure.
Hey.
That's life.
That's time for personal entropy lists once we reach year 2.
Exactly.
How many films you got on here now?
That was 88.
Oh, yeah.
Going up there. We're almost close to 100 here. This is episode 89. We're one episode down compared to the movies on the list. We just need a double movie ep to kind of catch.
Speaking of which, is Scream 2022 still listed as Untitled episode?
Is it listed as Untitled?
Yeah, it was the times that I listened to it. I didn't know if it had been updated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. Oh my God, it is.
A little bit of admin. Sorry, folks. A little peek behind the curtain there.
Right now. I'm going to change that right now. I don't know how.
I didn't even catch that. To be honest.
You know what? I believe that is because I had to re-upload the audio. It might have reverted the title of that. Well, it's uploaded now. It's updated now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Scream 2022 episode is now live. 3 weeks late. Anyway, Training Day slotted in at 22. Our next review is undecided as of now. Actually, I forgot to ask you guys before the podcast what you guys wanted to watch for next week. So that means it's time for some post-pod Adam action. Okay, well, I guess we don't need a cut.
Whatever.
That was a quick little discussion. We're gonna watch Nightmare
fellas.
Alley. Yeah, hey, on the fly. It's not
Toni
usually the best
Collette.
way to do things, but
Yeah, she's great in it too.
She's back.
She is in there. Yes.
Toni Collette,
Her
Rooney
second
Mara.
film on here.
Now I'm excited. Bradley Cooper. Woohoo.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, man.
Okay, you guys have my interest more than
I'm telling you, bro. I want to watch this movie. I just made a
It
horrible
flew.
mistake.
It flew
Well,
so
I'm
under
glad-
the radar.
I'm glad we
man.
came to that decision very quick. Nightmare Alley, ladies and gentlemen, streaming right now on HBO Max. So check that out.
Or in theaters if you want to see the black and white version.
Or in theaters. Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Might be worthwhile.
Could be. Don't know if my Regal will really
Perhaps
do the
not.
black and white justice, but
Yeah.
hey, oh well. Watch Nightmare Alley in theaters or on HBO Max, and join us for a review of that next week. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review by chance?
We certainly do. We're kind of clearing through our collection of 5-star reviews. If you want to give us 5-star review, folks, you will hear it read out on the podcast. That's how this works. You can say whatever you want. Could be fun, nice, could be funny, could be mean. Just don't be evil. And we'll read it out on the podcast. It just has to be 5 stars. So this week we have a review from D Olson 18, and he says amazing, 5 stars. Whole lot of fun to listen to and very interesting. I love listening to this when I work out or just lay down and relax. These guys do a great job. Thanks, D Olson. We appreciate you.
We hope you're having a good time at the gym or relaxing.
Yeah.
Either or both. Maybe you're relaxing at the gym.
Could be. Got to get that rest in, bro. Get that rest workout. That rest.
Rest day is important. Rest day is important.
Got to get the wind down.
Break. Exactly. You got to give that recovery day. You know. Yeah. Well, if you don't want to leave a 5-star review, or if you have already and you still want to give some feedback on the podcast, you can do so by sending us an email to backrowbanterpod@gmail.com for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of that sort. We'd love to hear it, so send it our way. That one does get filtered. You can say whatever you want for the 5-star reviews. That one is going to be a little bit more selective. If you're just ripping us a new one in the email, I might just go ahead and block you. So keep that in mind. You can also follow the show and share the show. Well, yeah, share the show. Do that before you do any of this. Please share it as much as possible with a friend, a family member, maybe a corrupt cop.
Could
potentially.
Be.
If he's going to be sent to prison sometime soon, he's gonna have a lot of downtime. So we got quite the back catalog. Hopefully he has some streaming services available in prison, and that he can catch up on the show. Then go ahead and follow us on Twitter @BanterBro, on Instagram Back Row Banter Pod, and our YouTube. It's just Back Row Banter. Please, please, please go subscribe to us there, even if it is not your primary place of listening. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
What up? Letterboxd is the BlakeHolder. I'll be on there logging some stuff, keeping track of everything out of 5 stars. Letterboxd, I'm BlakeHolder on there. Instagram is Mr. Watercooler. PSN. Mr. Watercooler as well. Xbox, Mr. Watercooler as well. I think I actually have to renew my Xbox. I got an email on that the other day.
Go for the I don't know what they call it.
Game Pass.
The Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, the Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, that's what I had recently.
And Game Pass. I think for either, I have the one that's $15 a month because it comes with PC Game Pass. I don't know if that's the only one they offer because I know you don't play on PC.
Do you pay it monthly?
Yeah, it's monthly, so $15 a month. I get Game Pass and Gold.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll
pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Yeah, I bought my Series X and Halo was free on Game Pass. Well, Halo's free in general, but then the whole game is free on Game Pass.
Oh, okay, it's not bad.
Yeah, I opened up my Series X. I was like, oh shit. I mean, I guess I'm really mainly gonna play Halo, but like I don't have any games for this. And I was like, oh wait, Game Pass gives me like 150 games, and they're about to add a lot more because they just bought Activision. So it's a great deal. If you listeners, if you don't have Game Pass and you're an Xbox gamer or a PC gamer, it's well worth the investment.
All right, yeah, I might take you up on that. So,
and I think it's cheaper than Netflix at this point.
Yeah, bro, Netflix is fucking
stupid
killing
ass
$19.99, man.
Yeah, right.
So, funny story about Netflix. I actually put Netflix on Friday, looking to find something, and I found absolutely nothing. And I ended up watching Training Day, and I was like, "Why am I paying $20 for this? There's nothing of interest on here."
I will say, in some slight defense of Netflix, because I don't really need to defend them, but I will say, when I go through the new to streaming lists, they are consistently putting out the most original content. That being said, I do feel like it is very much quantity over quality.
For sure, right.
Very much the case. But they do put out a lot of original programming. It's not all worth watching for the most part. That's why such few of it ends up on the subjective list. It's not worthy, So that's the only defense I'll have.
Yeah. But that's all I got. What about you, Nathaniel?
What up, folks? You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at @nsgingrich. You can always find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Follow my other podcast, Sandpiper Tapes. I don't know when I'm getting back to it, but I will at some point. I promise. Tyler, where can the people find you?
Twitch.tv/UltraBajo87. I stream there Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm actually going to go on stream right now. So tune in if you want. I'll be hanging out. And then Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter all Tyler Vidalis, Vidales.
Adam, did you go already?
No, I did not. Did you go, Nathaniel?
I did.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. My bad. I was sorry. I was the end scene where Denzel gets shot in the ass just came up, so I was watching that for a sec. You can find me on Letterboxd at Aish. Gonna eventually catch up on the backlog of movies I've seen. I'm not doing a good job of that, but also find me on Twitter at Aish24, where I've been tweeting a little bit more recently with my Wordles. Almost every day I'll tweet out the Wordles because that's like the thing I look forward to every day. Almost every time that I'm up past midnight, I go, wait, the new Wordle's out. Maybe I give it a spin. I'm like, I can't spoil it for myself when I wake up tomorrow. I don't deserve 2 in one day, one awake day. So
sure.
I always save it for the next day, even though I'm so tempted every time to just open it up. Maybe just put in one word. We'll see what happens. Anyway, find me on Twitter at Aish24, and then find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Aish. I've been streaming a decent amount more recently, not so much this past week because, like I said, it's been super, super busy. But you got 2 weeks to the next tourney, the online tourney, and so once that's back up and going, we'll be streaming scrims, practice, matchmaking, whatever it ends up being. Mainly Halo, though, for the most part. Yeah, I think that'll do it for episode 89 here, guys. Thank you all for listening, especially if you made it this far. You're my favorite kind of listener, and I do really appreciate you. Join us next week for our review of Nightmare Alley, and we'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other, and we will BRB.
Thanks for stopping by. Comment, like, subscribe. Do what you ever do. Help us grow. We appreciate everything that you do. And just be good to one another. And we'll BRB.
Thanks for coming by. Thanks for listening. As always, we appreciate the love, support. We're trying to continue to grow the channel, and as well as just release some of our thoughts on film. So as I said last time, it is Black History Month. So please stream anything by Black content creators, directors, artists, musicians. Watch anything, watch something, support it. That'd be greatly appreciated. We'll BRB.
I'm America. Ready for another lesson.
How'd you guys feel about, speaking of Dr. Dre, how'd you guys feel about him being in fucking
Training Day?
Yeah. I almost forgot he was in it.
Well, we saw Snoop.
It's been a few years.
I saw Snoop, and then I was like, shit. And then I saw him coming up like the stairs, and I was like, is that Exhibit? And then I was like, no, that's Dre.
Yeah, I always remember Snoop for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally forgot Dre's in it because he has like fucking 3 lines and they're terrible.
Right. And his name's Paul.
Yeah. It sounds like a fucking GTA character talking. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he does.
Tuco.
Huge guys.
Oh yeah, that's one of the essays, right?
Yeah.
One of the Vatos. Yeah, he's in there. The other guy, the bald Hispanic guy who's playing one of the Vatos.
Hector.
He's in like every black movie. Yeah, for sure. Bro.
Every black movie and Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Is he in Fast and Furious?
Yeah, he's Hector. He's in the very first one, and then he's in the 7th one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, they bring back
that guy's every time I see him, I'm just like, man, that guy plays the same character in every movie.
Yeah, Hector's in it one more time, I think.
He's in the 7th one.
Gotcha.
When they go back to Race Wars.
Hey.
Yeah, shout out that guy.
Yeah. And then poor Cliff Curtis just constantly playing races other than his own. Like
that guy's from New Zealand, right?
Yeah, just no one lets him be New Zealand. He's always just like either some Arab guy or like Mexican or like any other race besides his own. He's a great actor.
He usually always plays a cop too.
Yeah, he's a great actor, man. He's really good. Love him.
Agreed.
Great in Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. My God, that is him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even put that together, dude.
Yeah.
That is him. I definitely see that. He's what's that guy's name?
Billy.
Bird something?
Billy.
Billy? Is that his name?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it is. That sounds right.
Is he? Oh, so he's not the guy who's Rose's right-hand man. He's the guy.
No. He's the buddy.
He's the guy. What's the guy? I can't think of the boy's name. Well, he's man in this movie.
Danny.
But he's the guy he befriends.
Yeah.
Right?
He like gets himself.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And he, I guess spoiler. No, we're not even recording, are we? But
we are
he's the
recording,
guy who
but
gets fucking shot,
allegedly.
right? Just like kill yourself.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Rose the Hat's like.
Oh no. Yeah, he's Native American. He's a really good Native American actor. Zach McClarnon.
Gotcha. You ready, Adam?
Yes, sir.
Ready when
Let's make
you
it
are.
happen.